distinction between an object and its properties. And there's different kinds of properties too. Some we would say are intrinsic. That means you can't really separate the object from the property. It's an intrinsic property of triangles that they have 3 sides. If you take that away, it's not a triangle anymore. Others we would say are relational. This car has the property being next to me. But if I move, then it doesn't have that property anymore, because it depends on my location. If this car was my favorite, we would say that it has the property being my favorite, which is not only relational, but depends on my feelings rather than my location. And now, here's the million-dollar question. What kind of property are things like being a woman, being a man, being black, white, gay, straight, whatever? Are they intrinsic? Are they relational? Are they something else? What do they depend on? They are pretty important. I guarantee that properties like that have shaped your entire life. They've sure as hell shaped mine. So, what the heck are they? In offering my theory of social categories, the aim is to reveal the cogs and belts and arrangements of parts in machines that often are oppressive. To start solving this puzzle, we can do something that philosophers love. And if you enjoy this, then you should absolutely study metaphysics, because this is like half of it. Imagine another Earth called Earth 2. And on Earth 2, they have all the same ideas we do about sex and race and gender, all those same categories, but they also have an extra one called Schmite. Schmite is very simple. There's 2 kinds of people on Earth 2, bigs and minis. Bigs is any adult over 5 feet tall, and minis is anyone under. And let's say that whether you're a big or a mini really affects your life on Earth too. Like if you're a big, you can get a better job, you can get a nicer house, you're allowed to marry whoever you like. If you're a mini, life is hard. Suppose we were to meet the people of Earth 2, and we said, Schmite is just a social construct. Being a big or being a mini, those are clearly relational properties. They depend on how other people feel about you. They might say, no, it's not. It's not about feelings. It's objectively observable. Look, I have a tape measure. I can tell whether someone is a big or a mini. Reaching tall things on my shelf is not a f***ing social construct. But we might come back and say, okay, yeah, you can measure somebody's height. Nobody's denying that. But what we're driving at is, why do you care? Why have you constructed your social systems around this feature? Maybe you've got a good reason for it, but on Earth 1, we don't do that. We have the property being tall, but we don't have the property being a big or being a mini. So you guys must have invented them. And all the Earth 2 people will be like, you guys are weird. Meanwhile, the people of Earth 0 are looking at us going, whoa, what's all this stuff about race and sex? I mean, we understand skin color and reproductive organs, yeah, we're not erasing anybody's biology or anything like that, but you guys divided your whole population and you based your whole society around this? Why? And maybe we'd say, well, it's evolutionary psychology, you know? On Earth 1, some of us can carry children, some of us can't, so we evolve different societal roles and we make that distinction. Carrying and birthing a child is not a f***ing social construct. And they might go, okay, yeah, but what about Mother's Day cards? I mean, are you seriously telling me that you evolved to buy each other those? Get out of town. There's definitely some aspects of being a mother that you've invented. I mean, there's nature, you've got your natural properties, yeah, but then you guys, you've added a whole bunch of stuff on top of that. You're doing augmented reality shit, like projecting extra properties onto the world. On Earth 0, we don't have any of that. We've just got the natural properties, no additives. And then suddenly, in come the people from Earth -1. And they're like, whoa, hold on there. What's all this stuff about natural properties? The only reason that the people of Earth 2 bother to measure height, the only reason they have a concept of height, is because they care about schmite. The act of measuring someone's height isn't a neutral thing that happens before they get assigned big or mini. When you measure something, you're already assuming that there is something there worth measuring. So these supposedly objective natural properties of yours are also social constructs. It's not augmented reality, it's full VR, son. On Earth -1, we don't have any of that. We're all just vibing. Presumably, life on those other Earths would look a little bit different. If you were walking around Earth 2, you'd see signs with like bigs only and stuff, because social constructs shape our environment. Suppose we took a whole city of people here on Earth 1 and we erased their memories so they didn't know about sex and race. Would they reinvent those categories when they saw their environment? Would they look at public toilets and go, oh, hey, there's 2 different spaces here. But in our homes, we've only got 1. What's up with that? Would they go, oh, hey, we've got darker skin and we all live on the bad side of town where the houses aren't as nice? Why? Our social constructs have shaped our environment, which in turn reinforce our social constructs. I think that was an episode of Star Trek, actually. So we've identified this whole layer of reality, which really affects our lives, but which we seem to be just inventing, at least to some extent. So, what is going on? If you ask 3 philosophers how social constructs work, you'll get 4 theories. So we're going to look at one by a philosopher called Ásta. She's Icelandic, so she only has 1 name. I chose it not because I have any particular attachment to it, but because I think it's interesting, and it'll give you a flavor for how philosophers tackle these questions. It goes like this. Suppose that you're watching a game of baseball, which, if you've never heard of it, is like cricket, but it's even worse. The guy who throws the ball, the bowler, he throws it towards home wicket where the batsman is, and he hits it. And the bowler has to throw the ball within a certain zone. And if he gets it in the zone and the batsman misses, that's called a strike. And if you get 3 strikes, then you're out. But it has to be in the zone. If he throws it up here, then it doesn't count. And if it's very close to the zone, all the spectators go, oh my God, was that a strike? And then the umpire has to decide. Ásta says there are natural properties about the trajectory of the ball. She calls them underlying properties or base properties. So she's thinking more augmented reality than full VR. The umpire is trying to keep track of those underlying properties, and in order to do so, he confers the social property being a strike onto the pitch when he says, strike 1. So according to Ásta, being a strike is a social construct that serves some purpose in the game by keeping track of the ball's underlying properties. Similarly, on Earth 2, being a big is a social construct that serves a purpose in a social game by keeping track of people's height. Each of us has a lot of features, and only some of them matter socially in a particular context. Examples: I'm 168 centimeters tall and have shoe size 39. I have short hair and I'm wearing black pants. I speak English with an Icelandic accent. I'm extremely nearsighted, have moss green eyes and pale skin, breasts, broad shoulders. Some of these features matter socially in a context. Others do not. What is it for a feature of you or me to matter socially in a context? The answer I give is, a feature is socially significant in a context in which people taken to have the feature get conferred onto them a social status. That last bit is important. Baseball's one thing, people are another. Properties like being a woman, being a man, a mother, black, white, that's not a game. That's your life. Consider the property being cool in the context of a high school. If you're cool, you might be able to get away with stuff that other people can't. But at the same time, there could be expectations on you that might be stifling. It's a lot of pressure being cool, I imagine. It's pretty clear how you get a strike in baseball. It's less clear how you become cool, because there aren't really any rules. People just start treating you differently and you thereby acquire coolness. Nobody really decides it either. There's no umpire at the school gates going, you're cool. It's just the community decides to confer coolness on you, or not, maybe even unconsciously. In baseball, the umpire was trying to keep track of the underlying properties of the ball's trajectory. On Earth 2, they were trying to keep track of the underlying property of height. But what is the underlying